Good morning and welcome to this gentle adult yoga class. Let's get started on our mats, lying down. Allow the weight of the body to sink into the floor. Feel the whole body relaxing. And as the body softens, the breath deepens. And tune into the quiet rhythm of your breath. Feel the belly rise and fall. The ribs expand and come back in. The collarbones widen and come back towards each other. The back body press into your mat. Let's inhale the arms up overhead, interlace the fingers and turn the palms away. Roll the knees to face the ceiling and stretch the heels away. Big, tall stretch. And continuing to stretch, walk your heels over to one side, stretching the opposite side of your body. Inhale back to center and walk the heels out the other way. Walk the heels back to center, release your arms back down. And circle your ankles. Circle in the opposite direction. And point and flex. Ankles. And bring one leg in and give that leg a hug as you soften your shoulders, throat, and face. And pull that knee into the nearest armpit. Keep reaching out through your opposite heel. And bring the knee across towards the opposite shoulder, keeping the hip on the floor. Just feel a stretch in the side of the leg. Come back to center, give yourself another hug. Feel the stretch in the back of the thigh. Pull the knee out to the nearest armpit once again, and then reach down with your opposite hand and grab your heel. With the foot flexed, bring that leg across your body. And we'll gently bow the cello. Breathe into the joint, feel the movement. One more big hug of that leg. Place that foot on the floor. Slide it down. Let the energy circulate. And notice the difference in the two sides of your body. Let's roll the knees to face the ceiling and bring the other leg in and give it a squeeze. If that's too much on your knee, hold the back of your thigh instead. Long, slow breaths. Press out through the opposite heel. And let's bring the knee into the nearest armpit. Feel a stretch in the inner thigh. Bring the leg back to center, give it a hug. And bring the knee across. Stay on your back till you feel a pull on the outside of the other leg, or the outside of your thigh. Same leg. Back to center. One more nice deep squeeze. Soften your shoulders, your throat, your face. And bring the knee into the nearest armpit once again. And then reach down with your opposite hand, grab your heel, bring the leg across the body, and we'll gently bow the cello. Notice the different muscles engaging as you move. And one more nice hug. Deep, full breaths. Place that foot on the floor and slide it down. And then yogi's choice, you can either roll to one side to come to a seated position or do some spinal rock and roll. And you can spinal rock and roll staying on your back like this, or you can get a little more aggressive, bringing the hips and the chest up off the floor. And we'll meet in Sukhasana, easy pose, or whatever seated pose floats your boat. Just take a moment here to feel the shape of the body. And then lower the chin to the chest. Roll the ear to one side. And lower the chin to the chest and roll the ear the other way. Feel the stretch in the back of your neck, the stretch in the side of your neck. Back to center and lift up. We're going to make this a little more intense if you'd like to. Going to bring the hands together in prayer position like this with the fingers down behind your back. And if that doesn't work for you, you can hug elbows or keep your hands on your knees. So sitting up tall, remember if you're in prayer position, the fingers are pointed down. And lower the chin to the chest and roll the ear to one side and lift the chin up. Don't crunch your neck. Rolling the head in one direction in a circle, but being very careful when you go back, not to go back too far. So you can feel how this variation allows your shoulders to come down and back a little bit. You might feel some crunching in your neck. Let's stop and go the other way. And come to stillness. And release your arms. Relax the shoulders, stretch up tall and look over your shoulder. And look over the other way. Soft gaze out into the distance. This time, when you're looking over your shoulder, and gently nod to your armpit and come back up. Do 2 more times. And back to center and then the other way. And nodding to your arm.
Frozen, Joanna. Joanna, can you hear us? Record stop. Oh, bummer.
So we were finishing up bowing to the armpit, 3 times on one side, and other way. Nice and slow. And back to center. We're going to move into a thing called spinal breathing. And inhale tall, reach forward. Bring the head in and round up. Lift the head in the chest. Lean forward, stretch over, let the head go. Round up. Look up. So this is bringing flexibility to your spine. It feels absolutely wonderful. One more. And notice how you feel. Let's come into an easy spinal twist, one hand on the floor behind you, the other to your knee. Soft gaze into the distance. And back to center. Center. And look around the other way. One more time. And back to center and twist. And back to center. Let's bring the hands to the floor, legs out nice and wide, and we'll windshield wiper the knees. And we'll take that into a spinal twist, walking your hands around behind you, looking over your shoulder, trying to find your foot. And back to center and flip the knees the other way and walk around. And back to center. And let's butterfly the knees. Let's come into some half forward folds. Stretch out. Bring one heel in against your thigh. The other toes are pointed up. We're turning towards the straight leg. Shoulders down, belly lifted. And walk yourself towards your leg with a nice long spine. Inhale tall. And then stretch over, let your head go. Inhale up, stay there. I'm just going to go the other way so you can see my knee. So we were here in Janu Shashasana. You can do a second Janu Shashasana or flip your knee the other way so that your knees are parallel and your heel is against your butt. Inhale tall. Take a moment to draw the belly in, stretch up tall. You're not going to go as far probably in this because you feel it in the top of your thigh, maybe in your lower back. And begin to walk yourself towards your foot. Being mindful of where you feel the stretch. Breathe into it. Just go to your edge. Don't force it. This is an intense posture. Inhale back up. So the knee that's bent, you can still do it in Janu Shashasana if you need to. We're going to bring the other elbow down onto the floor and reach from knee to fingertips, pressing the knee into the earth, opening the front of the body. Feel the spine behind your heart so that you're lifting your chest and not collapsing. A little bit of a back arc here. And bring that hand in. Come on back up. Bring that leg around and we'll windshield wiper the legs. And again, I'm just going to swing around so you can see the leg that's moving. Starting in Tadasana, bring the opposite heel in against your thigh. Toes point up. Inhale tall. Belly lifts. Spine lengthens to come forward with a straight back. And then walk yourself forward over your leg. Let the head hang heavy. Inhale back up. Now you can do a second Janu Shashasana or flip your knee the other way so that your knees are parallel, your heels against your butt. Inhale tall, lower belly in and up, starting forward with a straight spine. Notice where you feel that, it's very intense. And then begin to round over the leg. Still with the intention of moving all the way up the back, not just the upper back. Being very mindful here. Inhale back up. So the leg that's straight, that's the hand that comes behind you. And if you can, you're coming down onto your elbow. We're pressing this knee into the earth and we're reaching back. Bring the spine forward behind your heart with a bit of an arc here. Big stretch. And behind you, inhale yourself back up. Bring that leg around and a little windshield wiper or bounce the other legs, whatever feels best to you. And let's come around and press back into child. Let's do a little vinyasa here. We'll inhale up into dog tilt. Exhale into cat stretch. Inhale into dog tilt. Exhale back into child. Inhale. Round. Tailbone lifts. Child pose. Inhale, tailbone and head lift. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, child. We're going to come into a lunge, inhaling into table, bring the right foot through. Drop the hips. Look up. Bring your hand to your hip crease and spin your body, supporting yourself with your arm right under your shoulder and coming into a revolved side angle here, pulling the knee in towards the center line. Again, feel almost like a little back arc here, opening the chest. Bring that hand back down. Come back into child. Inhale, table. Left foot through, coming into your lunge. Left hand to your hip crease. Pull that hip crease back as you twist your body. And add an arm if you like. Deep breaths into the open lungs. And come on back down and back into child. And yogi's choice, we can come up into a downward facing dog on the way to our standing poses. And make your way to a forward fold. Bring your hands to your sacrum and curl up. Coming into Tadasana. We're going to step our feet just a little wider than usual for Tadasana. So Still parallel feet, but about shoulder width. And we're just going to start to swing, lifting your back heel. Arms are going to swing around you. And the arms can begin to whap against your body. So we're waking up here the kidneys and the adrenals, our energy centers. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. We're picking up the back heel so we don't torque our knee. And then we're going to take one hand and thump with a soft fist our upper chest while we thump the other hand onto our kidneys and adrenals. So we're now not only waking up our energy, but also our immune system. Coming into the fall season, maybe beginning to think about colds and flu. So we want nice, strong immune systems. And slow it down and come back to Tadasana. Notice how you feel. And step out to a nice wide 5-pointed star. Deep breath, and we're going to come into a spinal twist, bringing one hand to the leg, sliding down, reaching up. And keep your spine straight. So in other words, don't round over and then twist. So you may be parallel to the floor. And then twisting. And inhale back up. And we'll come to the other leg and slide it down. Just till you're parallel to the floor so that you're twisting a straight spine. Inhale back up. You may want to go a little bit wider. 5-pointed star. Take a deep breath. We're going to bend one knee and bring the hands down, if we can, to the floor on that side of the knee. Now, make sure your hips are back so you're not overstressing that knee, trying to have that shin as vertical as possible. Inhale back into a forward fold. And then we'll bend the other knee, dropping the hips down as much as feels good. Feel a big stretch on the inner thigh. Let's walk ourselves through a forward fold once again. Do the first side. You can stay in this variation or a little more intense on your heel. Roll your toes up towards the ceiling. You'll feel a real stretch there now. Deep breaths. And back on the floor, coming through your forward fold. Bending the other knee, staying here or rolling the toes up. Full deep breaths into the challenge. And put the foot back on the floor, one more forward fold. Hands to your sacrum and roll up. 5-pointed star. And toe heel back to Tadasana. Feel the after effects. So spoiler alert here, we're going to go into side angle pose and then take that into half moon balance. So if you need a support for your half moon balance, if you need to put your hand on a chair or table, or if you need to do it against the wall, go ahead and find what you need to make half moon balance Ardha Tadasana work for you. Okay, so let's step out to our 5-pointed star. And turn the toes to the right. Going to come into a lunge. Reach over that leg, coming into side angle. So if you can start your side angle here, rolling the shoulder back and looking up. And if you want to just stay in side angle, whatever variation you like, you can do that. Or we'll take it into half moon balance. Bring that hand down. Bring the other hand behind you on the floor. Scoot that hand forward about 1.5 feet. Begin to bring your back foot in. Begin to straighten the leg. I'm going to roll your shoulder and your hip back so it's shoulder over hand, hip over foot. Big stretch. Again, you could have your hand on a chair instead so you're not over so far, or you could have your hip and shoulder against a wall. One more breath here, you're doing great. And let's bend the standing leg and come back into our side angle. Come up nice and slow so you don't get dizzy. Turn the toes in. Let's toe heel back to Tadasana and rest. I know my heart's beating. How about you? Let's go for the other side. Big wide step. We'll rotate the toes. Come into a lunge. Reach over the leg. Come into Parshvakonasana. Any variation that you like. Again, you can stay with this or bring your hand back down. Bring your other hand to the outside of your leg. Swing it forward about 1.5 feet as you scoot your back foot in. Begin to lift that leg, straightening your standing leg, reaching up. And if you're really good, you're looking up as well. But of course, that entails changing your drishti, which makes it more challenging. So I'm just looking straight ahead for now. That's enough for one day. Nice full breaths to support your practice. And bend your standing leg. Come on back down nice and slow. Inhale yourself back up. Again, very slowly. Come back to your 5-pointed star. And toe heel back into Tadasana. Let your heartbeat come back to normal. Let's come down onto our mats, onto our bellies. And we'll take a few breaths here in crocodile pose. And roll the knees so the feet are parallel. Bring the head in line with the spine. And bring your hands into Sphinx position. Inhaling up. Walk your hands forward and pull the floor towards you. Look up past your eyebrows, but don't crunch the back of your neck. Feel the breath moving all the way down into your toes, all the way up to the top of your head. And lower down, cheek to the other side. You can do a second set of Sphinx or come into Cobra, bringing your hands close to your breast, feet parallel, shoulders back and down. We're using our core strength to lift, no hands. Reach from your toes to the top of your head. You can put a little teeny weight on your hands as long as your shoulders stay down and back. And come on back down. And press back into child. Inhale yourself up. We're going to set up for Camel. So you may want to pad your knees. Picking up your mat and placing that under your knees so you have a little extra padding there. And inhale up. And let's warm up with something we did last week. We're going to reach our arms out. We're going to pretend that there's a wind blowing us. And in a straight line, we're just going to rock back. And rock forward. Inhale, rocking back on the exhale. And rocking forward. Make sure there's no pressure on your knees here. If it's too much, please come out of it. One last one. And down. Now, Camel is opposite this because we're going to keep our legs stable. They're not going to move back at all. We're going to move the spine. So let's bring the hands to the sacrum. You can turn your toes over if you'd rather, or toes pointed. Take a deep breath and imagine the energy running up the spine, pressing forward into your chest to arc your back. Take some nice slow breaths here. The hands on the sacrum help to lengthen the lower back. Make sure there's no pinch in your spine. And inhale back up. And turn the toes over. We can go into a half camel. So you can stay with what we just did, or inhale, reaching one arm up. Big stretch. Or reaching that arm behind you. And you may find yourself twisting just to find your heel, but then you want to reach the other arm up and behind you. So now you're not twisting anymore, pressing your hips and chest forward. This is pretty intense, so you can stay with an earlier variation. And coming back up, hands to sacrum. And press back into child. Either child or egg variation. And reach your arms out in front of you, and we'll just walk around to one side, stretching out the back. And walk around the other side. And back to center. And let's roll over onto our backs. Take a few breaths here, letting the body integrate what we've done so far. Bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. We'll come into some yoga bicycles, bringing one head up off the floor, one head. There you go. And changing sides. You can keep the head on the floor if you need to, both heads. Someone should compile a blooper reel of twisted anatomy from yoga teachers. If you'd like to make this more challenging, bring your hand behind your head and bring elbow, opposite elbow towards your knee. Now we're not pulling the head forward. We're just supporting the head with the hands and doing a little bit of a twist here. And both legs in, head to the floor, one more hug. And let's stretch those legs up for a gentle inversion. You can wriggle your hands underneath your butt, or if you have another inversion you prefer, go right ahead. We'll stay here for at least a minute. And we'll bring those knees in, give yourself a hug. And we're going to have some choices here again, yogi's choice for our spinal twist. So we'll start with the legs at right angles and lower the knees down to the floor. Next level of challenge, take the top leg and straighten it. Grab the big toe with your opposite hand, first 3 fingers. Last level of challenge, you've got that bottom knee bent. Slide that leg back and grab your ankle. And then spin towards your, spin away from the straight leg or the top leg. So you find the level that feels best to you. Breathe into it, slow and deep. Let your body melt into the floor. Turn your head towards your top leg. Release. Bring both legs together. Roll onto your back. Give yourself a hug. I'm going to swing around the other way. Press the knees away. Lower the legs down. You can stay right here for your twist or stretch your top leg out. Grab your big toes with the opposite hand. Slide your bottom leg back and grab your ankle or foot. Ankle's a little hard to grab your arch. And turn your head away from your top leg. Feel the deep breaths helping you release tension, especially if you're in the really intense variation. You can settle into a wonderful state of bliss here if you just stay with your breath. Turn your head back towards your legs. Bring your legs back in. Roll onto your back. One more hug. Maybe a little rock from side to side. And then get what you need for Shavasana and come lie down. Allow the body to melt into the floor. The toes turn away from each other. The palms roll up with the fingers softly curled. The shoulder blades slide down the back and towards each other. The back of the neck long. The jaw relaxed. The eyes rolled up in their sockets. Stay here as long as you like. And when you're ready, bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. Gently move and stretch in whatever way feels good to you. And when you're ready, roll to one side. And make your way to a seated position. Namaste.